Lonnie Wong is here to tell us exactly what happened at the state capitol today.
What do we want? Fair funding! When do we want it?
Now! The Campaign for Quality Education held its own rally to support low-income families and students of color who feel shortchanged by billions in education cuts. Students at this event at the state capitol say they are already feeling the effects of years of budget cuts.
Classes are being overcrowded. Right now, my biggest class has about 38 students in it.
When you defund education, you're not just hurting students, you're hurting the future. Why are we in outrageous class sizes? Why are our teachers overworked and underpaid? Why are more days being cut from our education? And how come every time I turn around, one of my teachers are being laid off? These are questions that policymakers struggle to answer and correct, but youth organizers have answered these questions time and time again. Our first demand is for legislators to reform taxation to ensure that corporations are paying their fair share and contributing equally to all public services. Our second demand is to change the funding formula to ensure that funding is distributed equitably and by need. In addition, we demand that this new funding formula to be clear and transparent. That's why Youth Together supports AB 18. Our third demand and final demand is to institute community voice and power at the state level so we have a say when they're ready to cut our education. I believe that we can hold Sacramento accountable because we have people power, we have student power, and we have the power of the youth. Thank you.
Inequality is rampant in our current finance system. An English language learner in one district is provided resources that a similar English language learner in another district is denied. The same is true for children who come from poverty. And even in the same school district, some schools are better funded than others. And in too many cases, the lowest performing schools are funded with the least amount of resources. This cannot stand in a democratic society.
The sacrifices we are making are only one-sided. Cuts and more cuts to education, while the top 1% of America's billionaires are sacrificing nothing. In fact, according to the California Budget Project, in 2009 and 2010, California's K-12 per pupil spending, California ranked 45th in the nation. We ranked last in student per teacher ratio. The right-wing agenda has dominated the budget debate by promoting a cuts-only budget, arguing that our taxes are hurt the economy. California must not believe this lie, because this year alone, an all-cuts budget could result in an additional $4.6 billion in cuts to education.
Preparing college career readiness is where students are A to G aware and have career opportunities to prepare for life for after high school. We want both efforts to be implemented and supported statewide as a part of CQE, and we want to adequate funding that helps students prepare for both college and career. As the All-City Council leader in Oakland, we have been prioritizing funding for college and career readiness, making sure all students have A to G and student support to make college and counseling systems available.
We want to see the ability for students and parents to evaluate their teachers. I say it's time that our voices will be heard, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, after all, especially us students, we're the ones sitting down, hearing our teachers as they teach us, and we should have our own voices be heard of our opinions. Who's with me?
Yeah.
And personally, I'm also in support of evaluating teachers to not only better our teachers, but to support them all the way. Teachers do what they can, but not being fully aware of what is and what isn't working, how are teachers supposed to improve themselves and move forward with students? It's a daily asked question as to why students don't want to go to school. How many of you hear maybe your friends or other students that are like, oh, I don't want to go to school? Yeah, and we don't want to hear that no more because we have a future that we need to hold account. Yet there isn't really a way for students to reach out and express their personal experiences and opinions.